stop using sandpaper for every little mark in PDR. Seriously. All right, I think way too many technicians are too quick to pick up sandpaper anytime that they see marring, blending marks, or light impact traces in the clear coat. And before everybody loses their minds in the comment section again, relax. I'm not saying don't sand. I sand. I wet sand. I polish. I cut orange peel. I refine texture. But I think a lot of us are unnecessarily aggressive with the clear coat. And I think that's because a lot of us never learned how to polish properly in the first place. If we are going to call ourselves paintless dent repair technicians, then protecting the paint should matter. One thing that I've noticed over the years is a lot of the conversation in PDR revolves around the metal. Metal movement, tool control, reading lows, crowns, compression, and all of that matters. But there's another layer that's sitting on top of the metal that we don't always respect enough. The clear coat. Your clear coat is the protection for the base coat underneath. It's literally the shield. And yet, some technicians will preserve the factory paint during the repair only to aggressively chew through the clear coat 5 minutes later to get rid of any marks from knocking down. That doesn't make sense to me. That's like going to the beach, putting on some sunscreen, and when you get out there, wiping half of it off right away. And look, I'm not speaking from a pedestal here. I've learned this the hard way. Early in my career, I sanded way too aggressively. I pressed too hard with my fingers. I've dug gouges into the clear that you can still see even after polishing. I've cut through clear coat, I've burned edges. I've even had to refinish panels because I didn't quite understand polishing just yet. And honestly, a huge part of the growth in my PDR career came through my journey into detailing, because detailing taught me something important. A lot of what technicians are sanding to get rid of can easily be cleaned up through proper machine selection, pad and polish selection, and proper technique. So let's talk about setup. I personally like a 3-inch dual action polisher because we're usually not polishing an entire panel. We're refining a repair area. So for me, a 5-6-inch polisher isn't necessary. The two polishers that I really like are going to be the Flex PXE80 and, believe it or not, for the budget, the Batoka. Both of these are going to be compact, low profile. Both of them fit great on a PDR cart and are perfect for localized polishing work. Now, pair that up with an orange, medium density, late country pad and a good all-in-one polish like 3D1. That combo alone handles most footprint cleanup from blending and knocking down. And then comes technique. I jokingly call my technique the 5-5-4 rule. A lot of you detailers are gonna know about Ivan LaCroix's 5-5-5 rule, 5 pounds of pressure, 5 seconds on speed 5. But that is gonna apply to larger polishers. Since these smaller polishers usually top out around speed 4, I call it the 5-5-4 rule. 5 pounds of pressure for 5 seconds on speed 4. Now, 5 pounds of pressure isn't much at all. You're just slightly flexing the pad. That little bit of pressure and heat is enough to soften the clear coat. And remember, clear coat is a form of plastic. And once that clear coat becomes receptive to the heat, the pad and the polish can go to work. That process alone is going to clear up 90% of the marring that's left behind from blending and knocking down, without immediately needing to attack with sandpaper. Now again, I'm not anti-sanding. There are absolutely times when sanding is appropriate. Larger repairs, texture balancing, orange peel refinement, damage-related imperfections, absolutely. But sanding has a process too. If you're going to sand, please do it properly. First, make sure that you're stepping up your sandpaper. If you start with 1500, then go to 2000, then go to 3000. And anytime that you use 3000, use it wet. Wet sanding with 3000 is going to give it a much cleaner and even cut. That is going to make polishing that much easier after. Second, use a sanding block. The sanding block is going to absorb and redistribute that pressure evenly. Because if you just use your fingertips, your fingers are going to create uneven gouges in the clear. And now you'll be chasing scratches that you created. A proper block is going to help you prevent that. Again, these are mistakes that I have made and make myself. That is why we're talking about it. At the end of the day, the goal of these videos is not to attack the industry. It's just to raise awareness. That's it. The torch video wasn't about being controversial. It was about being mindful of the clear coat. And this conversation is the same thing. I just think we need to put a little more thought and emphasis on the paint in paintless dent repair, not just the metal. And yes, we are metal technicians, but we're also caretakers of the factory finish. And the more that we learn about paint correction, polishing, coatings, heat management, and clear coat preservation, the more professional our industry becomes. That's all I'm trying to do, is just bring attention to the paint. Because if we truly care about preserving factory finishes, then we should do everything in our power to protect that paint during the repair. Now work hard and go be great. I knew it. Man, one day, dude. That dude is gonna screw up one day. He came whipping around that corner and almost hit that truck. I'm telling you, that Tesla, man, he's a menace, man, because he got it in goddamn ludicrous mode all the time. He whipped around that corner, that truck almost went.